Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Duc Vuong. I'm the world's #1 weight loss surgeon, author of 13 books, and I've really stopped what I've been doing to focus on this coronavirus because I feel like people are not taking it seriously enough, okay? We should be sharing this video. Please hit share for me now. We really got to get a lot of people in. I want to give you the latest updates on what's happening. Dr. Vuong, why should I listen to you and not just listen to CNN or other news outlets? It's because I have friends and colleagues who are fighting this on the front lines, and what they are reporting is terrifying. So I want to tell you, just recap for you real quick, some really important things about the coronavirus, because I feel like people don't have enough data on this, okay? Or they're still not taking it seriously enough. Number one, again, everybody, if you come into contact with this virus, you're going to catch it. There is no immunity. Dr. Vuong, I myself have a very strong immune system. So if you have friends or loved ones who are like, I never get sick, I have a strong immune system, this won't bother me. Yes, it will bother you because this is called novel coronavirus. That means it's new. We've never seen it in our community. There is no herd immunity. There is no one has immunity to this, okay? So what that basically means, the way your immune system works is you have to be exposed to a virus one time, you get sick, and then the second time the virus comes around, your body has formed antibodies to fight off the infection, so now you're able to have an immune response and fight off that infection. But because this is a new virus, new coronavirus, right? SARS-CoV-2, this is a new virus. Everybody who comes into contact with it will have symptoms. Now, you'll have a range of symptoms. Yes, you're totally right. The vast majority of people recover. But I'll get into the statistics, the numbers here in a second. But because everybody who's going to be exposed to it will get sick, so a small percentage of a very large number is still going to overwhelm our system, if that makes sense, what I just said. So everybody who comes in contact with it will get sick. There is no herd immunity. Everybody will get sick, okay? So no stupid memes, nothing silly like, hey, if you drank Boone's Hill when you were young, you're immune to the coronavirus. You're not. I drank a lot of Boone's Hill, trust me. I drank a lot of Mad Dog 2020, Strawberry Hill, Boone's Farm. I drank it all. I'm going to get sick, okay? If you ever drank out of the garden hose when you were a kid, have you seen that meme? If you ever drank out of the garden hose when you were a kid, you're immune to the coronavirus. Not true. That is a total, it's funny, but it's not true. You're going to get sick. So there is no immunity to this virus, okay? So I started paying attention to this. Let me give you some sobering numbers. I started paying attention to this epidemic March 11th when the World Health Organization declared this as a pandemic. It's very rare for the World Health Organization to do that. So before that, I was like you guys, I would think it was a joke. I didn't think it was very serious. So I didn't pay much attention to it. But when World Health Organization declared it a pandemic, I was like, boy, I better read this and research on it and see what's going on. And that was March 11th. On that day, there were 1,600 cases of coronavirus in the United States alone. So 1,600, and there was something like 40 deaths, most of them in Washington, and people were like, oh, what's the big deal, right? March 11th. Today is March 17th. So 6 days later, we now have 5,000 cases. We have 5,000 cases with 90 deaths. So we've gone from 1,600 to 5,000 in 6 days, guys. So let's do the math, right? 1,600 times 3 is 4,800. So roughly three times, right? So if this trend keeps happening in the next 6 days, right? Today's the 17th, the 23rd. In the next 6 days, by Sunday, we should have 15,000 cases. By next Sunday, this coming Sunday, 15,000 cases. And I want you to, hey, write down these numbers and hold me to these numbers, see if I'm right or wrong, okay? So there is something called the doubling time. This virus is doubling between 4 to 6 days. We think it's closer to 4, all right? And these numbers are increasing rapidly because we are testing more frequently. but we still don't have as many tests as there are people. So I don't care what President Trump told you guys, and that's awesome that he's waiving the cost and that he's going to pay for these tests, and anyone can have a coronavirus test if they want it. I'm going to tell you that's a lie, only because we don't have enough tests to go around. We don't have enough manpower to read it, etc. Now, why is this important? Because there's a lot of people, a large subset, pay attention now, there's a large subset of people who will have mild to no symptoms. These are the 20 to 30-year-old fuckers who are healthy, the millennials who are ignoring this, who are not paying attention to this, and they're going to go out, they're going to go to their bars, they're going to do what they're going to do, and they are going to have a mild flu or a normal flu, and they're going to pass it on to their grandmother who is immunocompromised. And it's going to be them that's going to cause this epidemic to spread. Now, why is this important? It's because this is going to be with us until mid-May. Put this in the comment section. We will not peak until mid-May. Mid-May. Peak means the highest number of cases. So this is going to go up like that, mid-May, and then the numbers will start decreasing. Now, pay attention to me. Mid-May, the peak, the numbers will start going down. Then the death toll is going to radically increase in June and hit its peak in July, August. The death rates. So for those people who are still skeptical, we believe on conservative estimates, all of the experts are saying, even with canceling schools, canceling bars, restaurants, sporting events, even with all the measures we've taken, we will be lucky if we get away with 100,000 deaths. We are estimating between 100,000 to 400,000 deaths. So if this does not peak into mid-May, use your brain now, you guys are smart. The number of cases are going to go up until mid-May. Why do you think any school superintendent is going to reopen schools while the cases are going up? They're not. If your kids are off for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I promise you they're going to keep postponing the reopening of school. Does that make sense? Now, my girlfriend, Erica, who's a waitress at a high-end Capitol Grill, a high-end restaurant, she was just notified yesterday that they're closing it for 2 weeks. And what did I just tell you? They're going to keep it closed, right? They're going to extend it. So it's going to be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Now, most of you guys, that means no income's coming in. All these sporting events. It's not the athletes who are missing out. It's not the fans who are missing out. It's the people, the vendors, the hot dog salesmen, the people who are hawking T-shirts outside, the people who are selling, kielbasa's outside. They're the ones who are going to suffer. It's their job. There's the side hustles. They canceled the Houston rodeo, right? All these fairs, these events, these gatherings, all these people who make extra money selling at these fairs and stuff. This is their second or third sources of income. Vegas is going dark. They're closing down the Las Vegas Strip. So all of these bartenders, waitresses, poker chip dealers, man, all these people, yes, all the hookers. I don't mean to laugh. It's not funny. But yes, even the hookers and the escorts, I mean, it's going to hurt. Everybody's going to hurt. So this is going to really affect us economically. So the latest update, San Francisco. Comment if you live in California. San Francisco is basically on quarantine. Everybody's encouraged to stay home. Stay home, right? That's San Francisco. Most restaurants are now getting closed. New Mexico, which only, I was from Albuquerque, and they only have like 20 cases. They're already instituting measures where they're shutting down restaurants and bars and stuff. So this is crazy. Number-wise, the epicenter started in Washington, and on Saturday, today's Tuesday, I said New York State had 500 cases and Washington State had 600 cases. Well, today, as of today, New York has over 1,000 cases now. Over 1,000 cases. All right? Because of the population. It's just going to boom. I promise you it's going to boom. Dr. Vuong, what does this have to do with my weight loss surgery? I've already told you guys, I warned you guys a week ago that I foresee people, they're going to start canceling elective surgeries. And they've done this. So they started canceling elective surgeries in Italy, France, Germany, Australia, right? They started doing this like probably over the week, Saturday, Sundays. So no elective surgeries. And that includes a bariatric surgery. So I'm sorry if you guys have been going through the pre-insurance process and all that stuff, but your surgeries are going to get delayed. Comment for me if your institution has already canceled your support groups, your dietitian visits, any seminars, any routine follow-ups. You're already starting to see it. Your doctors are preparing for this epidemic because they're canceling your routine follow-ups, your routine medicine fills. If they can't do it through telemedicine or phone call, they're canceling it if they can, you understand what I'm saying. Now, because they're canceling schools, we are going to have a shortage of nursing staff, right? Because 38% of U.S. nurses have school-age kids. Who's going to watch these kids now that school's been canceled, right? So your nurses are going to have to choose. On top of that, guess what? We are running out of personal protection equipment, PPEs, our gowns, our masks, our gloves. People are stealing our masks and our gloves and the cleansing gel and stuff like that, Perel, off the walls and things. This is craziness. So the coronavirus people from the regular people, okay? So why is this important? Why is this important? I'm going to wait. I lost my feed, so I want to wait for you guys to come back on. There we go. Excellent. All right. Excellent. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Hit share again for me one more time. I lost my feed. So I want to get more people back into this feed. What I'm about to say is super, super important, right? So do me a favor. Everyone that's watching, 350 of y'all watching right now, go ahead and hit share for me one more time. All right. I got to make sure. Are we still having good feed? I don't want to lose y'all because what I'm about to say is really important. All right, I'm going to keep going. Okay, so what you're going to see is you're going to start seeing pop-up tents where they are going to start having triage for the coronavirus people outside of the hospital because they have to keep the suspected coronavirus people outside of the normal hospital population. You're going to start to see isolation. They're going to have separate parts of the wings of the hospital, right, for these patients. Now, what does that do? That means you're going to run out of ICU beds, all right? The numbers are such. 10% of people with a coronavirus are going to need hospitalization, are going to need to be hospitalized. We estimate there's going to be at least 1 million people with coronavirus. 10% is 100,000 people. All right? Of those, you're going to have about half of them need to be on ventilators. That's 50,000 respirators. I'm telling you, we don't have that many respirators. There are not enough respirators for people who are going to be intubated. How do I know this? Because, well, these are just the numbers. And also, if you haven't read, Italy, who is ahead of us, they have decided to, if you're over 80 years old, they are not intubating you for coronavirus. If you're 80 years old or older and you're coronavirus positive and you are having trouble breathing, they have just decided to not intubate you, to not put you on the respirator because they need the respirators. Now, why is this important? It's because the average duration of people on a ventilator is about 2 weeks. So one person ties up the ventilator for 2 weeks. Now, a lot of y'all don't know this, but in order to be on a ventilator, you have to be in an ICU, intensive care unit. We don't have that many intensive care unit beds. One of my surgeon colleagues says that he's in a community of about 75,000 people. They have 3 ICU beds. 75,000 people, 3 ICU beds, right? And you can just do the math. Let's say in his little town of 75,000 people, let's say 1,000 people get it. 10% of those will have to be admitted to the hospital. That's 100 people. What's the big deal, Dr. Vuong? Well, 50 of those people are going to have to be intubated. They only have 3 ICU beds. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You're going to start seeing your hospital trying to figure out ways to do makeshift ICUs, etc. But first thing you're going to notice are these little pop-up tents outside quarantine areas where they're going to triage people, because that's what's happening in Europe, okay? So the bariatric surgery patients, a lot of you guys are worried, rightfully so. If you're pre-op and you're still morbidly obese, you're at a very high risk. Dr. Vuong, isn't this a disease of old people? No, that's the Chinese data. It's because most of the people who died in China, as far as we know, were older men who smoke. But as you know, skinny ass Asian, the Asians generally tend to be thinner, even though China has a 20% obesity rate. But that's nothing compared to our 60% rate. 60% of Americans are overweight, 30% to 40% are obese. So because we have obesity, that is going to really hurt us. You're going to have more comorbidities. Typically, the obese person has shortness of breath, has sleep apnea, has restrictive lung disease, have prediabetes or diabetes, have high blood pressure, have already had a mini heart attack, already can't walk. They have very low lung reserve. So you're at high risk. So if you're a 60-year-old person who smokes cigarettes, who's overweight, you are in trouble. You got to take this much more seriously, right? Now, here's the problem. The young kids, the 20s, 30-year-olds, the healthy guys, the ones who are posting stupid memes saying this is way overblown, this is all about social media, this is about television, this is about politics. Dude, you're the dickhead who's going to pass it on to your grandmother. You're the asshat who's going to cause your mom to get sick. Because you're going to get a mild case of the flu, and good for you, you got over it, you recovered it. But the average person who's infected with the coronavirus passes it on to 2.5 people. 2.5 people. So look around you, asshole. Who are you going to infect? Pick your 2.5 people. You're going to infect, I only want to infect my least favorite uncle, my molesting grandfather. And no, you don't get to choose, man. You don't get to choose. This is really, really sad, y'all. All right, so if you're pre-op and you are going through the weight loss surgery journey, just be prepared that your surgery is going to get delayed. Now, because of this, listen to me. You can't control it, so there's no point for you to stress about it. You need to get healthy. This is not the time for you to be eating carbs, buying Oreos. Dr. Vuong, I'm stressed out. I'm eating Oreos. Well, fuck you. You're still selfish. You're the one I'm telling you, you're at risk, and this is the time to stop smoking and try to lose as much weight as you can to eat healthy. If you just loaded your body with fresh greens, nutrition, good sleep, stress, meditation, anxiety, if you just calm the fuck down, you will boost your immune system. But if you stress out and you eat Oreos and chips and ding-dongs, you're putting yourself at more risk. That makes no sense. So if you're pre-op and you're still morbidly obese, calm down. Eat healthy. Start your green smoothies. Really isolate yourself. Focus on deep breathing. Throw out the junk. You don't need it. Give it to the skinny, arrogant people who are posting stupid memes. Now, secondly, if you've had weight loss surgery and you're close to normal BMI, if your BMI is 28, 30, but your diabetes has gone away, you're breathing better, your sleep apnea has gone away, then you're at a normal risk for whatever, risk that Dr. Vuong has. Because even though I'm super healthy and super strong, I haven't been sick in 10 years, I'm one of those guys. I know if I catch this virus, I'm going to feel it. I'll probably recover, but I'll feel it. So will you. Now, there are a small subset of weight loss surgery patients who's lost the weight, who's had surgery, but now they are iron deficient, they're anemic, they have low vitamin D levels, low vitamin C levels, zinc levels. You need to make sure you take your supplements to get your iron infusions and get as healthy as possible. You're also still at a high risk, right? You're still at high risk because nutritionally you're malnourished. Even though you might be thin. There's a small subset of people. There are people who just had weight loss surgery. So I'm speaking to the ones who just had weight loss surgery. Really thin. My connection keeps going bad. I'll be back. Hold on. I'm waiting for you. There you go. All right, good. So sorry I lost my connection there for a second. I got storms rolling through. So if you just had weight loss surgery, I know sipping water is hard. Your sleeve might be tight. Your surgery might be tight. You just need to sip. Drink your bone broth. If you're on if your doctor has you on protein shakes, make sure you sip. Whatever you can do to stay hydrated, that is super important for you at this point. One of the best things you can do for this coronavirus is to stay super hydrated. All right? Now listen, if you're paying attention to me, you understand. What did I just say? You have peak cases in May, mid-May, and the numbers will go down, but people are still going to be on ventilators into June. The number of deaths are starting to go up in June. The number of deaths will peak in July, August. So, what the fuck do you think is going to happen if you have surgery you scheduled for July or August? What do you think is going to most likely happen? Think about that. You're going to have a system that's just getting out of a very taxing time. What do you think? You going to stress out about that? Right? So it's very simple. If you stay calm, you think about what I'm trying to tell you, you can figure out logistically what needs to happen. Why are you stressing out about surgery at the end of March? That's not going to happen. Why are you stressing out about your surgery in April? That's not going to happen. Why are you stressing out about May? Most likely it's not going to happen. And most likely I don't want to be in a hospital that is still contaminated full of coronavirus. That's just me personally. You don't have to be a surgeon to realize that. So what we want to do is take care of ourselves. First of all, we are still too early. We are at an alarming rate right now, okay? We are at an alarming rate right now, all right? Let's, by alarming rate, I mean we need to get the word out. We got to get the word out. Quit worrying about your surgeries. I'm telling you, for right now, just act like your surgeries are going to be canceled. Because think about it. If they have to cancel your dietary visits, you're not going to meet criteria for your insurance approval. Your insurance companies are going to get slammed from all these cases, this billing from this coronavirus. I mean, they're going to put off approving your surgeries. I promise you, this is how they work. They're going to look at their numbers and they're going to be like, oh my God, we got to pay out all this money. We're going to slow approve weight loss surgeries. Let's say it's November and this coronavirus thing has blown over. I promise you, your insurance companies are going to look at the numbers. And yes, I know you've done everything. You did all the visits. You've done all the dietings and all that sort of. You've done the psych eval. They are going to slow approve your case, because that's how they manage their numbers fiscally. Now, if you've worked in insurance business and you're watching this, give me, comment for me. Tell people that what I'm saying is absolutely true. That come this fall, your insurance companies, your Blue Cross Blue Shields, all these Anthems, all these insurance companies are going to look at the claims that they have from coronavirus, and they're going to slow approve all of your elective surgeries, right? This is much more than that. I know you are desperate to have your weight loss surgery. I know it's frustrating, and I know you are anxious, and I understand. But we are really talking life or death here. We're talking about a pandemic that is just starting, and we need to get people really aware about what's happening, okay? First of all, you got to start calling them assholes. You're an asshole if you're hoarding paper. You're an asshole if you're hoarding water. You're an asshole if you're hoarding guns and bullets. You don't need to do that. The system will bounce back. The grocery stores will take care of us. We will have plenty of toilet paper and food. That it will come to normal. We just have to stop it with this stupid, irrational behavior. Do not steal face masks. Do not steal gloves. Your doctors need it. Your healthcare workers need the gloves. We are running out of personal protection equipment. So comment below if your friends, family, you yourself, you're a nurse, you guys are running out of gloves and gowns because people keep stealing it. Comment if your husband is a first responder and they're having trouble getting gloves and gowns because people keep stealing it. We need to quit doing that sort of stuff, right? Leave the gloves and gowns for people who need them. First of all, your face mask, these simple little surgical masks you guys are getting, will not protect you from the coronavirus. I'll say it one more time. These little masks, that's worth a share right there. Share right now. These little face masks you guys are wearing will not protect you from the coronavirus. At best, if you have it and you sneeze, it will limit the spread. But just because your sister, your cousin, your aunt who has coronavirus is wearing a mask and you go and you're this close to them, Dude, and they sneeze, you're still most likely going to get it because the spray out around these masks don't stop anything when you sneeze. Trust me. Your best thing is isolation. Stay at home. Wash your hands. 20 seconds. Really good. Like that. All right? I need y'all to help me. You got to spread the word. We are still at a point in this disease process that's so early. We got to lower. You guys have seen the lowering the curve meme, right? We're still skyrocketing. So everybody's falling in line with Italy. Don't believe the China data because you don't know if what they're telling you is true or not. They probably, if I had to guess, they probably isolated 10 million people, maybe even more, maybe 100 million people. Like isolated, make them stay home. You're not going to do that in the United States. And their cases are leveling off, but the Italian data is what we need to follow, right? And their data is still skyrocketing. They had their worst death the other day. They had over 350 deaths in one day from one disease, right? This is crazy. That's crazy. That doesn't really happen in other disease illnesses, right? Over 350 deaths in one country in one day. And we're all falling in line. So all the German data, English data, etc. are falling in line, okay? There are two exceptions. One is Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a major outlier. Their number, if this is Italy, Hong Kong is really like way down here. Let me tell you, do not believe what people are telling you in Hong Kong. They're outliers. They're outliers. So I've seen people post about this. I have friends in Hong Kong. They said, yeah, it was bad 2 weeks ago, but now life's back to normal. No, they are outliers. It's like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar saying, hey, everybody's 7 feet tall. No, they're not. Hey, I have this friend who lives in America who's 7 foot tall, and he says everybody's 7 foot tall. No, they're not. Just because him, Shaquille O'Neal, people that who he hung out with, right? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Hakeem Olajuwon. Very scared. I'm very scared. I keep losing my connection, man. I might have to redo this video, okay? So all of the data is following in line with Italy, except the U.S. The U.S. is worse than Italy. And we are much larger than Italy. I'll say this one more time, since I lost the internet connection. Everybody's falling in line with Italy, which has terrible numbers, except for the U.S., which is worse than Italy. The U.S. numbers right now compared to where Italy was at this point, U.S. is worse than Italy. We are further behind than where Italy was. And Italy is 2 weeks ahead of us. Italy is 2 weeks ahead of us. So what does that tell you? As bad as the Italian numbers are, the American numbers are going to be worse. Trust me on this. This next week is going to really push us. We're going to really see what it's all about. Okay? I keep losing my connection, so I am going to stop this. Remember, I'm doing a daily Facebook coronavirus update, how it's going to affect your weight loss surgery, what you guys need to do, how you guys need to prepare for this pandemic, and how you can protect your loved ones and your family. Okay? Love you guys very much. See you next time. Bye.